you know journalists, okay, you know the media, and I've told you a lot about the media, but in case you're, just coming to the party, the media is very biased, very left. And then when you talk about sort of the African American community or minority community within journalism itself, it tends to be overwhelmingly, and not fully, right? Because there's some wonderful conservatives in the community, but knowing that this particular community, being journalists, being part of the media, tend to be very left. And then when you look at the minority community within there, it tends to be extremely left. So by going to the National Association of Black Journalists event, Donald Trump is effectively walking straight into the lion's den. I mean, he's going right in for the kill. And by the way, the first question he got was pretty explosive. We're going to talk about this. I mean, I give him some credit for going in there to begin with, but this wasn't exactly pleasant, right? This is kind of hostile territory. Let's watch this together and we can talk about it on the other side. Let's cue this up.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President
That's
Johnson,
my
who signed the
answer.
Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Okay. So, yes, he went into the lion's den, right? He's going into totally hostile territory. But I give him credit for it. I give him credit. A lot of people have come out and panned it. I know Bill O'Reilly's like, this is setting him back, millions of votes. Look, he's going where other people are not going to go. Kamala Harris didn't even go there, right? Kamala Harris didn't show up there. He showed up there. So let's start with that. The other thing I would say is, I get it, right? Like sometimes the je ne sais quoi, we'll leave it at that, gets a little challenging, and he just comes right out, right? And flat out says it. Like, I'm the best. Here's the thing. He actually has some merit to what he's saying in terms, especially when it comes to the economic challenges that many in the black community were facing. I would actually argue that economically speaking, and you don't need to take my word for it, go and look at all the statistics. What you actually see is that wages for Black Americans improved dramatically under Donald Trump. I mean, not under Barack Obama, but under Donald Trump. In fact, wages overall for middle income Americans improved dramatically under his economy. And I think that's a credit to his policies. But he's frustrated, right? Because he's like, wait a second, like, why don't I get any credit here? Well, you're not going to get any credit because it's the media. And then on top of that, it's the National Association of Black Journalists. And well, they're not going to like you, right? So you're not going to get a love. But I give you credit, Mr. Trump, President Trump, for going in to the lion's den and at least confronting that head on. I think that more politicians need to do that. I mean, this is why he was successful. I remember I was actually in Ireland recently and reporting on both Northern and Southern Ireland and some of the challenges, economically speaking, that the North has faced as a result of the ECB and the London Central Bank and the inflation that you see, et cetera. But at that time, when I was last here, he was having a rally in the Bronx. And he had all of these people. It was such a diverse audience of rally goers. And it was really actually scaring, I think, the left for the first time, because they realized he's failing, or succeeding, I should say. He's failing. I mean, Biden was failing with Blacks and with young voters. And so if he couldn't lock down those demographics, well, they were going to have to get rid of them, which they did. Right? Which they did. So now everybody's all in. We're going to pile on Trump all over again. But he went there. All right. So that's a good thing. He actually went there.